Now that we have the sit, we've been working on the sit, I would like to show you how to introduce the down to a rescue dog. Now, when we introduce the down, it's important to have this sit mastered first, because the first step to a down is actually a sit. And the reason for that is when a dog is sitting, especially a dog new to a down exercise, they're already halfway down. So I already have the dog 50% into a down if I start them from that sit. Okay? Well, we're going to use a lot of the same concepts and theories that we did with the sit to make it user-friendly. Now what I want to do is I want to use a slippery floor. If I have a dog that's going to be learning this for the first time, it helps to put this dog on a slippery substrate. That way, what happens is I can actually manufacture them sliding out into a down quite nicely, if need be, while I guide their nose with my lead right hand. The hand signal is going to actually also be an extension from the sit hand signal. This is going to be my bicep curl straight up, where I get our dogs into a sit. And then what I'm going to do is I'm simply just going to turn my palm over, facing my dog in this direction, and then I'm going to slowly guide them down towards the ground. Alright? So it's an extension of the sit. Again, the sit, and I'll show you from the side. Straight up bicep curl like this. And when I want to go for the down, I'm going to turn my hand over, and I'm slowly going to guide that hand down towards the ground. Now, the tools that we're going to use here, again, we're going to use a little bit of scent motivation. We're going to start this exactly like we did, the exact same way we did the sit, which is we're going to guide our dog up into a sit, and then after I have my dog in the sit, he's 50% or halfway down, I'm going to turn my palm over and slowly guide my dog's nose to the ground. So let's have a quick look at that. So again, get this nose motivated, lifting it up into that sit position, turn my palm over, catch that nose and guide all the way slowly down to the floor. Once my dog hits the ground or is touching the floor, I release, good, down, and praise my dog. Alright? If you notice, I kept the scent motivation close to my dog's nose, and I slowly guided them to the floor. Now, if your dog has never done this before, a lot of times you got to go really, really slow. You've got to have a slippery substrate, and you want to slowly guide them into that down position. It's really important to take your time with this training exercise, because you want the dog to start to associate when they slide down to the floor that you release the treat. And this is when we say down, good down, and release that reward or the treat. This way the dog is actually performing the task on their own, albeit we are manufacturing it, and they do, in the long run, get the connection much more solid as opposed to forcing them into a down or pulling their legs out from them or whatever the case may be. It's much nicer to manufacture or create the behavior, and they'll have a much longer lasting imprint on the behavior of going into a down. So let's have a look at this again. I'm going to get this nose going. Dog's going to start in the sit first, turn my palm over. As I go down, I'm going to catch that nose, I'm going to guide my dog to the floor, down. Once they hit the deck, I will release, good, down. Release the treat and reward them for being in that down. Okay? Now, what we want is we want a hand signal for down to eventually be like this, straight into that down position. So we want the sit to come straight up, and we want the hand signal for down, down, to be straight down, and be able to release that treat just nice and quick like that when you're on your way. So it's really important, good down. It's really important to make sure they really get that hand signal. So I want you guys, when you're doing this for the first time with your rescue dog, to really, really slow this down. Nose, straight up, bicep curl, sit. I really want them to be able to see that. Turn palm over. Now I have scent motivation, if you can see in my hand here. I'm just going to guide that down past my dog's nose, down. Lead them slowly to the ground. Release, good, down. Once they're down there, and that's the end of it. Okay? So let's try that one more time. Sit. Down. Good. Down. Okay, guys. Now we have the sit and we have the down. They really become one because we need the sit puts the dog halfway into a down to create that nice down after we have that sit quite mastered. Anyway, thank you guys so much, and let's move on to the next lesson. We want to always start that down from the sit position. Why would I do that?
Because he's already partway there.
He's halfway down. Second tip. You should always start a down with a brand new dog on a slippery floor. Because, especially a big dog, especially a puppy, they will, when you guide them, slide out into that down. And it's not about pushing my dog into a down. And a lot of people get stuck in what I call fast food dog training. How fast can I make this happen right now? I'm going to come down past the nose, and I'm going to guide my dog's nose down to the ground. If you had a slippery floor, if you keep this close to your dog, you'll watch the back end slide out. Once you've accomplished that, you let go of the scent motivation. Good, down. Finish starting to get. Okay?
Down.